Welcome to our CEO series. Our guest today is Vitek Ladislav, certified LinkedIn Smart Coach. And our topic is going to be centered around managing your brand during disruptive times. Vitek is the founder of Square Motion, a Dubai-based video marketing agency. He is originally from Prague, the Czech Republic, and previously worked as TV producer and commentator. Certified LinkedIn Smart Coach, video marketing expert and trainer who helps business owners and entrepreneurs use LinkedIn for business growth. So we're going to have a robust conversation around LinkedIn, which is probably the most popular tool as it relates to career management. So welcome to you, V.
Thank you very much, Ron. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good. So let's start it off by giving us some thoughts on LinkedIn and why is it so important in managing your career?
Well, I think LinkedIn is an absolutely fantastic platform for business owners and also for those who are seeking new opportunities. Because right. LinkedIn, I always kind of say that LinkedIn is like a one giant networking event which never ends. So imagine you entering that space and you have all these opportunities, all these fantastic people being there, and you can actually approach them. You can talk to them. You can relate to them. You can like their posts, comment on their activities. So you have fantastic opportunity to reach out to really interesting people and start certain relationship with them. There are many things which can go wrong in that, and many people are doing it in a wrong way, obviously. But there are a lot of people still learning and understanding that there are certain ethics, how to behave on the platform. And if we use it properly and we use it in ethical way, in that sense, there is enormous opportunities which are waiting for us on a LinkedIn. So I really believe that, and I see it, it's not just a belief. I can see it that, our clients are getting really fantastic results from LinkedIn, from being on that platform on a basis.
I'm glad you brought up business owners because, in your bio, I did speak to that. And the question I was centered around managing a career. But for brand exposure, that's always important from our side for the company owners. How do you max out that potential? So what are some major do's and don'ts for managing online presence? And we're going to look at it two ways, from an employee side, that's trying to manage their career through that portal, as well as a business owner side.
Yeah. So if we see what are the best practices, what to do on LinkedIn, again, I would just come back to that LinkedIn as a big and giant networking event. What would you do actually when you see, and I've heard the other day, I've heard really interesting thing. Imagine that you're walking into the networking event and there's a man in a pink suit, otherwise everybody are in a dark blue or black, and you see the man in a pink suit. So you approach him, what are you gonna talk about? Are you gonna talk about your business? Probably you start with that, oh man, this is really fantastic suit. I really like it. How, why did you come in a pink suit, and why do you wear it? What's the reason? You start with something with some kind of commonality, something which you see, something which interests you, and something which is about the other person, right? So the same thing, applies to the LinkedIn profile or LinkedIn activities which we do. Many times, what people do, they connect with you, and first thing you receive in your box is their sales pitch. Man, don't do that. Then don't do that. Okay, you wouldn't ask on a first date your date to marry you, right? It's just you wouldn't do that. Yeah. So same thing, don't do this on a LinkedIn. So I'm talking about do's and don'ts. Mm-hmm. Applies for both, for the business owners as well as the job seekers. Yeah. So if in terms of a business owners, you would start talking about certain interests, and that's why it's very, very important actually prior to connecting with certain people. So imagine you have that strategy in mind. You want to connect with somebody, and LinkedIn is a fantastic platform for that, because you can find. So I would like to connect with Ron Thomas, for example. Yeah, let me give this example. So I go and search on the LinkedIn, and I find Ron Thomas, you on the LinkedIn. Then I go and visit your profile. Why is it important? Because if I visit your profile, you will get prompted that I'm interested in you. So this is first visibility touch point, right? So you will see, and LinkedIn will give you that note that I actually visited your profile. Second thing is important, I can actually search your profile. I can look at what you're interested in. If you're a dog person, for example, or you play golf, or you love same people, you're following the same influences I do, or you studied in the same subjects as I did. So those are certain touch points which we can see, and we can actually find out from the profile. Mm-hmm. And start talking about them. So once I would like to connect with you, I will send you a message and say, hi Ron, I've seen that you're a big fan of Manchester United, for example. Right. I'm a fan of Manchester United too, and fortunately they got into the Champions League for the next year because they finished third in the Premier League. Wow, how fantastic was that? Would it be okay actually to connect with you on LinkedIn? Something like this. We have something in common, right? So based on these commonalities, you build relationships, and you build relationships on LinkedIn. And based on that, you can actually improve or deepen those relationships. And then, of course, intentionally, work the way out, and then talk about the business as well. But I would like to ask you about your business first. I want to know what you do. I'm really curious. I really know more about you at what you do. And if I start in this way, if I'm really curious, if I really want to connect with you, and I start from there, it's inevitable that at some point you will say, you know what? Enough about me. Tell me what is your business. To know what is what you do. Because you have such a big interest in me, I would like to know, what you do. So, and this is how the communication should go on the LinkedIn. It's a human-to-human communication, and we need to always keep that in mind. Recently, I was talking about it, and I said, if you wouldn't write it, or if you wouldn't say it in a real communication, in real life, just don't on LinkedIn. So have the human-to-human communication, and just put it in the wonderful platform as LinkedIn is. So that's basically I was just trying to wrap up certain engagement strategy on LinkedIn.
Okay, so building that foundation first before you reach around and just right away there's a sales pitch. You mentioned that because I connected with someone yesterday, and that within a minute, I received a pitch to sell masks and gloves. And I sent a note back and said, please review my profile, because I don't think a lot of people will do that before they reach out to someone. So that was a very, very good example. So what are you seeing as major challenges for some of your clients that when they call you in? What are they saying as to why they called you in, and what do they need from you?
So there are a few major challenges which people face in these days, and one is, of course, because of the economic downturn with the COVID and all that. Obviously, it's harder to actually get clients in. So many people, they don't know how to get more clients, more leads, how to generate more leads. So this is, I think, number one thing, which my clients are connecting me with, and they would like to have more clients, more business. And obviously, LinkedIn is a fantastic platform for getting those clients, right? Like getting in front of those clients. I like what you mentioned just a few minutes ago about this, getting the sales pitch. Why is selling so hard? Because first, we don't know who we're selling to, and we're selling to the wrong people. Ron, imagine I'm talking to you now, and I'm talking to you about I have a fantastic cure for COVID. for COVID-19, you know, and I really, it's just you know, a syringe, you just, you know, and that's fantastic, and you will get it within 15 minutes, you're cured, and la la la, and I will carry on like this for half an hour, and at the end, you just look at me and say, you know what, I don't have a COVID, you know, I don't have a coronavirus, I don't need it. And this is exactly what is wrong with many people on the LinkedIn. They're talking to wrong people. They have good products. I mean, it's okay, it's fine. They're just talking to the wrong people. And that's why it's so hard to actually, for some people, to sell. So we need to take time, you know, to figure out what are the pain points of our clients. Who are our clients? Imagine I was doing a corporate training for one company, and person from the sales team asked me, well, you're still talking about this target audience. Tell us, who is our target audience? And I was speechless. Can you imagine? Somebody from sales team is asking me, you know, outsider, to tell them who is their target audience. Well, that's just crazy, right? But you know, many times
you're talking about clueless.
No, it is like that, and I understand sometimes it's difficult. Yeah. We're trying to sell everything to everybody, yeah? And that means that we're selling to nobody. You know, if our product is for everybody, usually that means it's for nobody. We have to have a very niche target audience, and we need to figure out who is our target audience and what is their pain point. So that's why we need to ask the question first. You know, we need to figure out, we need to build a rapport. I need to know who you are, Ron. You know, what is your problem? If I have the solution for your problem, then yes, that's fine. You know, I can help you. But if I out that, you know, you don't need my product, why would I spend my time with you? I mean, no offense, you know, that's I don't mean anything wrong, but you know, I want to have my very niche clients and the niche target audience, because I know that these people need my help. Yeah, but this is really important. So number one, usually what the problem is that now people, they don't have enough leads, they don't generate enough business, and they turn to LinkedIn because they naturally think that there is a good amount of people they can reach out to, yeah, which is absolutely fine. And the second thing is, you know, because of the coronavirus and lockdown, we were forced to go online, and we were forced to be more visible in the digital space. And people are figuring out that, you know, they need to know how to be visible to their clients. And LinkedIn is, of course, again, fantastic platform for, you know, showing your expertise, you know, giving some value, you know, sharing some information about you and your company and your products. So those are basically two problems which my clients have.
Yeah, well, you know, it speeded up the entire digital transformation, because the example you use, if someone had been basically using it sporadically, all of a sudden when things locked down, now they had to go 100% of that model, and they didn't know what to do.
Yes.
So that's a perfect example.
Yeah, and we were all forced into that space. I mean, some of us were there already before that. Some of us had to adapt to the new situation. But I think it's on the other hand, I mean, it's a good thing, yeah, because imagine now we have all some kind of experience, and we can just do better. You know, many times, you know, I do a lot of videos. I love video, and I think video is a fantastic content, and anybody who is producing video will really prosper. The thing is, many of us, we have some natural tendency to be shy in front of the camera, not really coming out, all these kind of things. But being on a Zoom call day in, day out, you know, being, you know, in those video conferences made us be more comfortable in front of the lens. Yeah.
So what is from an employee side, if I'm trying to find a job, how could I use some type of strategic approach for analyzing a company? If I want to, say, work for company X, and I see a job that's posted, and maybe they have connect with LinkedIn, you click on that. Should I do some research? How can I research around that company to get a better understanding of maybe the culture there, or how I can get in?
Ron, first and foremost, I always say to my clients, I'm actually dealing usually with the business owners, not that much with the job seekers. But obviously, the platform, LinkedIn platform, is fantastic for job seekers. Yeah, what they need to think about first is, what is my profile telling about myself? Is my profile up to par? Is my profile actually representing me well? So looking at the profile is really one of the most important things. Imagine it's like having a landing page and spending thousands of dollars, putting people on your landing page, but the landing page is actually shabby. It doesn't really work. It's not nice, right? You wouldn't do that because you're spending a lot of money, but actually you cannot convert that money into a real business because the landing page doesn't really work. So this is really important. Number one point, which people need to keep in mind, to really look at their profile and see if that profile representing me well, my personal brand. Is it my, is the expertise which I have, it featured inside the profile? Is it keyword specific? Do I have all the keywords there? Do I have all my professions, all my skills? Is it full experience which I have? Because recruiters which are looking at certain type of jobs or certain type of employees they're searching for, then they will always search for the keywords. And if the keywords are not on my profile, then obviously I'm missing the opportunity, right? So this is important thing. And then the second strategy, which I normally advise to job seekers, is figure out who. I mean, this in a similar manner as I mentioned about the engagement. Yeah, similar manner. Figure out who is your target audience. And that means who you want to work for. Who are these companies you want to work for, and figure out who are the people in HR departments, and start engaging with them. Start being visible to them. And if you comment on their post, I don't mean like I tell them, I want job in your company, not that. Yeah. Comment on their post, comment on what they do, leave some meaningful comments on their activities on LinkedIn. And by meaningful comments, I mean, not just, oh, great post or fantastic or love it. No, just, look at what that person wrote, what kind of post he made, and comment,
something else.
How did it make you feel? Yes, a little bit long, something which stands out. Again, we need to, there's a lot of digital noise out there, and we need to stand out. So I think that's really important. And if you do that, I guarantee that you're going to be noticed. You're going to be visible to those important people. And when they will be searching for somebody, they will look at your profile. And if your profile is correct, if your profile is right, there is a chance which you have that you can land a job.
So that's kind of the same as you mentioned about Manchester, when we were talking about the business side and connecting to someone. And you flip that over the same way that someone posts an article, you can connect with it, but with a little more beef behind it, as opposed to saying, as you said, great article of whatever, on that post, because that builds up a relationship over a period of time. And I think lots of times though, people today everybody's looking for shortcuts. So we were talking about business owners. I would love to send you some of the emails or messages I received on LinkedIn from people that have no clue as to what I do, and it just comes out. So the relationship piece, build that relationship so that if and ever something comes in, you can make a connection a little deeper than that. One of the things you mentioned, I want you to clear up for the audience, because they may not understand the concept of keywords. People in the business, we tend to know what that is. Can you give us some insights on what keywords would mean to a job seeker or to a business owner?
Yeah, so basically keywords are the words which are associated with you as a expert, right? So for example, if I'm a video marketer, so for example, my keywords would be video marketing, video production, video house, video studio, video editing, things like that. Things which are related to my profession, to my expertise. There are some keyword tools. I think Google has some keyword tool which you can go to, and you can actually search for specific keywords which can enhance your product. So you can actually use those. I'm not really sure exactly but I think it's a keyword search. Where you can go to and figure out what other keywords you can use in your profile. And you should have definitely your profile, your LinkedIn profile should have these keyword rich. So you can put them in about section, in your about summary. You can put them in your experience, definitely, because when the recruiters are looking through the profile, they will look at, what you have done, what kind of jobs you, what usually we suggest to all the job seekers in that term is also be very specific in terms of not just, I'm a great salesman. Just put some numbers there, like in one quarter, I close business of 2 million dirhams or $2 million, whatever it is, or I help this company to reach this amount, within, 1 year, something like this, be very specific, because people like to see, what you have really done, not just you're hardworking or capable or, things like these cliche words, which actually doesn't really say much. So try to be specific, because, the specificity will get you really much further. And one more thing which I wanted to mention, just what you were talking before about, people looking for shortcuts. That's the problem, I think. Everything in life comes with a little bit of a patience and a little bit of a smart work. I don't like to say hard work because it sounds very heavy. I think we need to work smart in a smart way. Yeah. But if we really put some hours into this, into the activity, especially on LinkedIn, searching for the right job opportunity, searching for the right people, I think that opportunity will open up for ourselves. So we really, we should not think about short-term results, rather a long-term relationships. Because sometimes we try to speed up certain processes, and in that process, we actually closing the doors for ourselves for long-term relationships, and that can hurt us and hurt our business.
Yeah. I wanted you to expand on keywords, because, as I said, lots of times people may not understand the concept of that. But that's your brand. And this is what you're trying to tell people, that here's who I am. Because I've seen people ask me, take a look at this. And I look at their profile, and it's just like a tombstone. It says start date, end date, title. Mm-hmm. Everyone and their mother has that. So so my question that comes back to them is that, so what did you do there? What were some of the successes? So I was using keyword kind of theory without knowing what I was using. How could a business owner use that same concept of keywords if I'm in the marketing business and I'm trying to I'm remodeling my business model? How can I use keywords from there? Same concept, or?
Yeah, very, very similar concept. Basically, a LinkedIn algorithm is looking at certain aspects in your LinkedIn profile, and that is the headline, which is the few lines directly below your name. Then there is looking into your about summary, and then in your experience. Those are basically the three major parts where LinkedIn algorithm is searching for certain keywords. So if you're a digital marketer, I would definitely advise you to have digital marketer in your headline. So your name and below. I usually ask my clients, if you're a digital marketer and you put there like Ron Thomas digital marketer. I mean, is it like how effective it is in attracting clients? Well, yes, I understand people know that you're a digital marketer, but they really don't know what you do. But if you imagine, if you put there, I turn clicks into customers, or I help logistics companies with their digital marketing strategy. Suddenly, that and then after dash digital marketer, yeah. So suddenly that headline, it's turning into something which talks directly to my clients and customers. So it's not just telling the people what I do, but how can I help them? Yeah. This is really very, very interesting because we are trying to talk directly to our clients and attract the right client, right, to us. You know, we want to tell them what we can do for them, because at the end of the day, Ron, nobody cares who you are. Nobody cares. Everybody cares what you can do for them. What you can do for me. This is important. Yeah. And this is relevant message, which we can actually deliver directly in that headline. So that's why headline is very, very important.
Okay. So that's sort of like a strategic statement. I turn clicks into revenue, whatever it could be. So there's two models. There's a free LinkedIn and then there's a paid version. Walk me through the difference between the two.
I always answer this question in very simple terms, and that is, start with the free version. Don't make the mistake that you start paying for LinkedIn and then figure out trying to figure out how to use LinkedIn. Figure out how to use LinkedIn with the free version, and once you start hitting some limits, and then for example, you cannot connect with more people, you cannot search for more people, and all these kind of things, you realizing, oh, I need paid version now. So that's a strategic decision, right? Strategic decision is not paying for LinkedIn and not using it at all, and coming back to many times I hear that, you know what, I had a premium version for 3 months, but actually it didn't do anything to me. I said, well, how did you use it? Well, I didn't actually use it. Yeah, so that's waste of money, right?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Like, get on a bike, try to figure out how to ride the bike, and then you can figure out if you need a better bike. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't do it the opposite way, trying to buy the best bike, on the market, yeah. And, putting it in a corner because you just don't know how to ride a bike. So that's the difference between free and premium. Of course, we can go into nitty-gritty of stuff, yeah. How much searches will you can get on a free, how much searches you can get on a premium. But just to point out one more thing, if you're really serious of driving business from LinkedIn, you will eventually need Sales Navigator. Sales Navigator is a fantastic tool. It's a paid version, and it's usually, I think, it's $100 a month, $100 a month. So from the perspective of any business owner, I don't think it's really that much money. It's really well spent money. Yeah. I have fantastic tool, how to search for very specific people, in a different more filters. You have more filters to search on a LinkedIn, and so if I basically just say that, if you're really serious and already you're using LinkedIn now and you start hitting some limits here and there, then think about expanding and definitely get Sales Navigator.
Mm. One of the things that I'm seeing a lot more of is LinkedIn Live. If I'm a business owner, such as yourself, I met you through a webinar that you did, which I found so interesting. How could a business owner who's maybe speaks at conferences, who's kind of a thought expert in their area of expertise, how can they use a LinkedIn Live to expand on the product, expand on the brand?
Let me just state at the beginning, LinkedIn Live is not available for everybody. It's still in a state. So not everybody has the ability to actually go live on LinkedIn, and you have to actually get approved by LinkedIn. So you have to submit your form and all that. And LinkedIn is very, very cautious to whom they are giving this the broadcasting right. So that's just one thing. But once you have it, it's LinkedIn Live is very, very useful tool for any business owners, because videos which comes in a LinkedIn Live or LinkedIn Live stream is pushed organically by LinkedIn. LinkedIn likes videos very much, regardless if it's live or not live, but they really like videos. So if you start using the video content, then obviously LinkedIn, they like that kind of content, and they pushing you organically to be seen by more people. So you can reach out to more people. Why is it so? Because LinkedIn actually just changed the algorithm about 2-3 months ago, and slightly changed the algorithm, and they really using something which they call dwell time. So what is the dwell time? How long people stay on certain content? And obviously, because it's a little bit longer, usually it's about like a 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. That's the threshold for good LinkedIn video. Then people staying there on a platform for a little longer. With that being said, just make sure that whenever you create a content, and then again, regardless if it's LinkedIn Live, but if you create a video content, create it directly for LinkedIn. So upload it directly to LinkedIn. Do not take a link from YouTube, for example, and paste it into LinkedIn. Yeah, because you're actually prompting people to leave the platform, and LinkedIn doesn't like, actually, for that matter, any kind of social media, they don't like.
Yeah, because I got to click and it goes back to YouTube, whatever it is.
Exactly.
So nesting within LinkedIn, nesting within LinkedIn. Okay.
Upload the video directly into LinkedIn.
Okay. So that be on the company's page. So if I'm a paid member or a free member, I can still upload video to that. Or would that have to be approved or?
No. So if you're not talking about LinkedIn Live, because LinkedIn Live is basically live streaming. So as we do now. This would be a live streaming on the LinkedIn, right? But if you have already recorded content, so you can create a content on your phone, or create a video, and you have that video file in your hand, you can basically on your hard drive, you can put it directly to LinkedIn.
Okay, cool. Give us some examples of before, after. A client called you. What was the premise of the call, and what was the business outcome? So we could, this conversation would give business owners a reason to say, I really have to focus on this strategy behind LinkedIn. So give us a couple examples of how you were called in and what happened on the back end.
Yeah, so I had just one client which really made me very, very happy, because of course, the premise is always to help people. Just as I mentioned, the pain point is to drive more business, generate more leads, all these kind of things. And we had a group session, which called one LinkedIn masterclass with a bunch of people about a couple of months ago. It was actually middle of the crisis, and one of my sort of a secret tip is for connecting with people. As I always say, connect with people and many times people say, well, that's just a this is a statement for the statement, right? Like I said, no, go to your email list, go to your email and go through your email and see who you worked with, who were your clients 2, 3, 4 years ago. And try to connect with those people, because you had already the relationship, right? You built already a relationship. They were your clients. They were happy with you. I mean, connect with those who were happy with you, not who were not, obviously. But connect with those people, and connect with them on LinkedIn. See if you're connecting on LinkedIn, because those are what we call in the marketing low-hanging fruits, right? And many times what happens, these people will come back to you and say, you know what, Ron, actually, I meant to contact you because I remember we had a really good, you really delivered excellent service, and I need your service again, So you kind of like you refresh that memory of the person, and this is exactly what happened. So actually, after the session, this person he went and he connected with about 20 of his old clients, And well, what happened? 3 of them came back, and he closed business of $60,000 right in the middle of the whole Corona crisis and all that. Yeah. So that made me very happy, because obviously I like to hear these positive stories that people are using the LinkedIn in a proper way, and then LinkedIn is helping them to reconnect with all the clients and get some business, and that's the objective, obviously. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned something as simple as going back on through your email list. And here was an example that happened to me the other day. There was a gentleman I was talking to. We met in China. We were in Shanghai, and we hung out together. And I needed to get in touch with him. And I was on LinkedIn, and his name wasn't coming up. And I realized all the time that we had been talking back and forth, I was never connected to him. And it caused me to go back, and I went through. So one of my techniques is that when I speak at a conference, if I'm on a panel, I will connect with everyone on the panel post-conference, relate to the conference, relate to a statement they made, whatever it is, to build a connection, as you said, build it from the ground up, as opposed to reaching out to them, beyond that. That was a very good example. So what advice would you give a business owner, because all business owners are struggling today? So maybe I have a presence, but how do I know whether it's where it should be, whether I need to tighten it up or spice it up? How would I know that? Yeah.
So I would start from the basics, and the basic is, as I mentioned before, with the example of the landing page. The landing page is your personal profile. So please look at your personal profile first and make sure that the personal profile represents your brand well. I can't stress enough, like especially I do a lot of corporate trainings, and I see it all the time. You ask the sales team to show the personal pages, and you realize that there are 5, 6, 7 people, and you don't even know that they work for the same company. You can't figure it. Because the branding is all off. There's no any mention of the company name and all this. So it's kind of like all scattered all through. So for the business owners, obviously, our personal page is our personal brand, right? So we need to really make sure that is really attractive, client-facing, customer inviting. So. To make sure that our personal profile is really absolutely fantastic. Then of course start with the engagement, and as I mentioned, figure out who is your target audience and who you want to connect with, and make sure that you have a list of, for example, 20 people you want to connect with. But first start with the engagement, so engaging with them on their profile, on whatever they do activities. Then send them connection requests. Whenever you're sending connection request, always add a personalized note. Why do you want to connect with them? And never make a sales pitch. And now I'm receiving even sales pitches within the connection request. I mean, that's not really good. That's tarnishing your brand. I mean, it's your reputation is done, it's gone. Don't do that. Purpose of connection request is to connect. That's it. Nothing else. No any freebies, not any visit my website, not anything like that. Just connect, make it all about them first. So whenever you start communicating, and once you connect with them, whenever you start communicating, make it all about them first. You want to know who they are, if they are actually your clients, if they have the problems which you think they have. So ask them questions, ask them, build a rapport first, make sure that this is really done properly. And once you know that this person is actually your potential client, you will receive that question from him. So what do you do? How can you help me? And this is the victory which we are looking for. And then you can say, yeah, I think that based on our previous discussion, I think I can help you with this because this is our solution. Have a look. Now you can tell them about your website, about your product, about your service. This is how the proper business is done on a LinkedIn, or how you should build your presence on a LinkedIn. And if you do it in this way, I guarantee you will have enormous success on LinkedIn.
Okay, a company's website, a company's LinkedIn profile was still sitting out there. You may have a Facebook, Instagram, or one of the other platforms. Should that be similar in some way? I know your expertise is LinkedIn, but now companies are kind of all over the place, as well as people are kind of all over the place as it relates to social sites. Should we be concerned about connecting the same brand from a Facebook, a TikTok, or whatever it would be?
Ron, I believe in step by step, doing things step by step. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel that some of the business owners, they're trying to be everywhere and they are nowhere. Again, it's really very, very focused approach. I believe that LinkedIn is a fantastic platform, and I can see it, in my years, doing business on LinkedIn, that LinkedIn is bringing me really about 80% of my leads are coming from LinkedIn. So I know that I want to be focused on LinkedIn in terms of a business. Do I want to present my company in a bit of a funny way, or yeah, okay, maybe I can think of a Instagram or TikTok. Yeah, and I can be there like that. But if you're just starting and you don't know what to do and you want to really just drive business, LinkedIn is a fantastic platform for exactly for this. So focus on LinkedIn first, get familiar with this, get comfortable on LinkedIn, and then you can expand to the other platforms. You can expand to if you're selling a product, then probably you go to Instagram, because that's a good platform, especially here in UAE, where like a B2C businesses. I can't stress enough that LinkedIn is really good for B2B. Yeah. So business to business kind of relationship. So if you're B2C, perhaps you should look more into Instagram or Facebook, for that matter. Yeah. But if it's really B2B, definitely. Okay. Just get comfortable with LinkedIn, then you can expand on other platforms.
Okay, thank you so much, V. Can you give us, in closing, how can someone contact you, your website or?
Yeah, so obviously I'm on LinkedIn. So if you just put down my Vitek Ladislav, into LinkedIn search, so I'm there. I also run a podcast which called LinkedIn Smart. So if you search for a podcast on any of those platforms, Apple Podcast and Stitcher and Spotify, I'm there, and I'm actually interviewing people from LinkedIn experts from around the world, and people practitioners of LinkedIn. Okay. So a lot of good things, not just for business owners, but also for job seekers and people who are in this business. So yeah, that's another thing. And obviously you can go to my website, which is called belinkedInsmart.com. So belinkedInsmart.com, that's website where you can get in touch with me as well.
Wow. So much information. Can't thank you enough for coming on and giving us insights, because everyone's struggling today, and there's so many tips that I've received from you today that I'm going to be looking to implement, and I'm sure that people are listening in and looking at some of the same things. So thank you very much, and you and I'll be in touch, offline.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.